Optical drives. Think of optical drives as the laser-powered historians of the computing world. While we have largely moved toward high-speed flash drives and cloud storage for our daily tasks, optical media remains a critical part of the IT landscape, especially for long-term archiving and legacy software installation. As you move into your cybersecurity studies at BCC, you'll find that optical disks are still used for cold storage, data that isn't connected to a network, because they are immune to electromagnetic interference and can't be remotely hacked or encrypted by ransomware once they are finalized. The technology, lasers and pits. The word optical refers to light. Unlike a hard drive that uses magnetism, an optical drive uses a laser beam to read and write data. Inside the drive, a laser shines onto the surface of a spinning disk. On a factory-made disk, like a movie or software installer, the surface is covered in microscopic pits and lands. When the laser hits a flat land, it reflects perfectly back to a sensor, reading a 1. When it hits a pit, the light is scattered, reading a 0. The 3 tiers of optical media. For the CompTIA A+ exam, you must distinguish between the 3 major generations of optical disks. Each generation uses a different color laser, which determines how much data can be crammed onto the disk. 1 compact disc CD. This is the oldest standard. It uses a red laser with a relatively thick beam. Capacity, roughly 700 megabytes. Use case, mostly used for audio and small utility software. 2. Digital Versatile Disc, DVD. The DVD also uses a red laser, but the beam is much narrower, allowing the pits to be smaller and closer together. Capacity, a standard single-layer disc holds 4.7 gigabytes. A dual-layer DL disc can hold 8.5 gigabytes. Use case, the standard for movies and operating system installers, like older versions of Windows or Ubuntu. 3. Blu-ray disc BD. As the name suggests, this uses a blue-violet laser. Blue light has a much shorter wavelength than red light, meaning the laser can focus on incredibly tiny dots. Capacity, a standard single-layer disc holds 25 gigabytes, while a dual-layer disc holds 50 gigabytes. Use case, high-definition video and massive data backups. The technician's vocabulary, R, RW, and RE. When buying discs for your home lab, you'll see suffixes at the end of the name. These tell you how the disc can be used. R, recordable, you can write to the disc once. Once the burning process is finished, the data is permanent. RW or RE, rewritable/erasable. These discs use a special phase change material that allows the laser to melt the surface back to its original state, so you can erase and reuse the disk hundreds of times. ROM, read-only memory. These are disks pressed in a factory, like a game disk. You cannot write data to these at all. Troubleshooting, why is it skipping? As a technician, you'll often deal with optical drives that won't read. Before you replace the hardware, check these 2 things. The center-out rule. Unlike a record player that reads from the outside in, optical discs are read from the center hole toward the outer edge. If there is a scratch near the center of the disc, the computer might not even be able to see that a disc is inserted. Circular versus radial scratches. A scratch that follows the circle of the disc is usually fatal because it destroys a whole string of data bits. A scratch that goes straight out from the center, like a spoke on a wheel, is often ignored by the drive's error correction software. Summary for the A+ exam. CD equals 700 MB, DVD equals 4.7 GB, BD equals 25 GB. Optical drives use lasers to read pits and lands. R is write once, RW is rewritable. Optical media is often used for archiving because it is shelf-stable for decades if kept out of the sun. By mastering optical storage, you have a complete picture of the storage trinity: magnetic HDD, flash SSD, and optical disks.